So, the Pokemon TCG. How about that trading card game? You see, my experience with Pokemon TCG first started when I was in high school. I was a junior in high school, and one day when my friends and I were hanging out, one of my friends who loves Pikachu had bought a Pikachu card when he went to a Yu-Gi-Oh tournament, I believe. And so he brought that card to my house, and my little brother was all like, "Hey, I have a bunch of Pokemon cards, you guys want to see them?" And so he brought out his Pokemon cards, and unfortunately at the time I guess I didn't have any Pokemon cards. I don't know what happened to my old ones, but him bringing out his Pokemon cards kind of started a sort of chain reaction with the Pikachu and the Pokemon cards, and then my friend said, "Hey, what if we started playing the Pokemon TCG? Let's go buy a booster deck. Starter deck." And so one of them did buy a starter deck, and then eventually, slowly, each one of us bought starter decks, and that's where we started in the Pokemon TCG. And eventually we built up our decks, we made them better, and at that time, if I remember correctly, that was when the Diamond and Pearl set was first released. When I was a junior in high school, and me and my friends started playing the Pokemon TCG, the Diamond and Pearl set was first released, and then I remember getting cards from the other Diamond Pearl sets, like Great Encounters and some of the other ones. Of course, Great Encounters is the one I remember the most because of Claydol. If anyone who's watching this video remembers Claydol from Diamond and Pearl Great Encounters, if I remember correctly that's what it was called, then you know just how fast the Pokemon game can be. The trading card game, that is. So anyway, that's how I started. But I eventually stopped because unfortunately I at one point moved away from my friends, and in the new town that I lived in I was unable to find anyone who actually played Pokemon cards. So after I'd moved to that town and got a job, I wasted so much money on Pokemon cards, but I eventually realized, you know what, I still can't find any friends in this town to play Pokemon cards with. I might as well stop wasting my money on them. Now back when I moved away from my friends, that was back before the Pokemon TCG Online. That was back when we only had a program, a simulated Pokemon trading card game known as Red Shark. Red Shark was a great program. These days, if you want to have something similar to Red Shark, you just use Tabletop Simulator. Of course you can use Tabletop Simulator, but for me, I tried getting back to the TCG through Tabletop Simulator a few months ago, but for me it was kind of overwhelming because it's just, you have all the cards at once. You don't know which cards are good, which cards are bad. You don't really have anyone to play with unless your friends are already playing the Pokemon TCG and Tabletop Simulator, which is why I went to the Pokemon TCG Online. Because in the Pokemon TCG Online, you can start out with certain cards and obtain more cards and learn what's good, what's bad. You can play against strangers. That's what's great about it. And by using the Pokemon TCG Online, you can learn what's good and bad about the Pokemon TCG in the current format without spending any money. Yeah, you have to spend time playing, and in order to get more of the currency in the game, to get more booster packs and more decks and things, you have to win. But once you start winning, it's pretty easy, because when you win, you get currency. Once you have the currency, you can get better cards, which means a better deck, which means you're winning more. Now these days, you can do all that without spending any money. Back when I moved away from my friends, there wasn't a for sure way of knowing by playtesting which cards were good and bad unless you actually did that with your friends on a regular basis. Or by playing strangers if you could find anyone who actually played the Pokemon TCG. So back then, I wasted so much money buying booster packs, trying to see what's good and what's not. That was a lot of money wasted. But these days, thanks to the Pokemon TCG Online, it's a lot easier to learn what's good and bad in the game. But recently, I went back and looked through my old cards, and just the old cards in general from the Diamond and Pearl days. And I have to say, I'm somewhat disappointed in the Pokemon trading card game when it comes to the speed of it. Back in Diamond and Pearl, you had, if I remember correctly, lower retreat costs, lower attack costs, probably not as much HP, but you could do more damage for less energies, more draw power, and just better access to all the cards in your deck overall. Unfortunately, after Heart Gold and Soul Silver, the Pokemon Company slowed down the Pokemon TCG back to what it used to be, possibly from like the first set or so. I don't remember. I just know it's a lot slower than it used to be. I mean, these days you do have this one stadium that's like a forest or a jungle in which any grass deck that you play, if you have it in it, you can evolve your Pokemon much faster, which is very convenient. It's similar to this one stadium where they didn't have to be a specific type, you could just evolve them very quickly. I don't remember what the name of the stadium was, but I had it. It's similar to that, but limits it only to grass type Pokemon. Some people say that gives grass decks an unfair advantage. What I think is I think the Pokemon Company should release or re-release a similar kind of stadium, but where like all of them can evolve more quickly. You know, speaking of the game being quicker though, that reminds me of this one stadium known as Speed Stadium. I used to use it once, and basically you flip a coin until you get tails, and for that many heads you draw that many amount of cards. I remember one time I flipped so many heads I decked out. Of course, Claydol was much better. The Great Encounters Claydol. It had an ability where, if I remember correctly, once per turn, at least I think it was once per turn, you can put up to 2 cards in your hand at the bottom of your deck in any order. And if you do put up to 2, you draw until I think you have 6 or 7 cards in your hand. I don't remember, but it's very good. Now when it comes to playing older cards and the Pokemon TCG Online, unfortunately you can't play any of the cards that came before Heart Gold and Soul Silver because unfortunately they didn't put any of those cards in the Pokemon TCG, which I find very disappointing because I miss Claydol a lot. And also I miss the way that you could do more damage for less energies and a lot of the really good stadiums and things like that. Unfortunately, stadiums these days just aren't as good. So that's most of my ramble on Pokemon TCG and how I play it now and how I used to play it. If you ever want to find me on the Pokemon TCG Online, just search Scario1, same way as my YouTube is spelled. Oh wait, no, it's actually Scario without the number 1. But yeah, if you search me in there, you can find me, add me as a friend, I'll probably accept the friend request. And that's pretty much it. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, please press like. If you'd like to see more of what I'm up to in the future, please subscribe, and I'll see you next time.